Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics, Has Non-Classic. This is episode number 757, Doubleshot number 651. I got two Marvel trades, and these two are the last two I got from Comic-Con. Yep. First up, it is, and this is a really big book, oops, The Punisher, The Complete Collection, Book Volume 1, collecting Born, this 4-issue miniseries, and Punisher Volume 6, issues 1 through 12. Everything here is written by Garth Ennis. Those of you curious who does this cover, that's Tom Broadtree, who also does the cover art for the Punisher books. The artwork for Born is done by Derek Robinson, and the artwork for the first 6 issues in here is done by Luis LaRosa, and Lorando Fernandez does issues 7 through 12. Yep. Now, this is a combination of about 3 different trades. Now, what is the miniseries Born? Technically, this is the first Max appearance of the Max version of Punisher. Yeah, simply put, this talks about Punisher's days in Vietnam. How gory it was, and the fact that one of his men nearly raped one of the female Viet Congs. Yeah, because she fell off a tree that basically Frank Castle. This is before he became the Punisher. And, of course, they show a little bit of nudity. So the guy's like, I guess these soldiers are basically so horny. I've heard, like, one particular film where they actually did rape a Vietnamese girl. And these guys tried to get away with it. And this was a film with Michael J. Fox. I heard it's a really good film. I haven't had a chance to see it. But a lot of the artwork in here, he's playing an interview, he based on experiences, based on the experiences from various Vietnam soldiers he's probably interviewed. And those who've seen images from this particular series, I'm going to show off a few different images. Not all of them, per se, just some interesting ones. Yeah, those of you who ever played the video game, the 2005 video game Punisher, where they use flashback stuff, where they actually do draw it. They take images from this particular thing, and I believe the first issue of this run, even though the game came out a year later. One, of course, is this image right here of the Punisher with a gun. Yeah, that's actually from the series. You actually see that in the whole thing of one of the Viet Cong being shot. That's also shown in the video game. Let's see. There's also one particular image shot, and I'm not going to show it in great detail. I'm just going to describe it. It's basically the Punisher covered with blood, and this is after he just survived a massacre. Yeah, they use images from this, plus the image where they show Punisher's family. That's actually from the last panel scene for issue 4. Yep. Now, in the case of the 2 arcs in here, first one's called In the Beginning, which also features the first appearance of the Max version of Microchip. Yep. And I should point out, though, when you first read the series, like once you get into the series proper, for the first 2 issues, the gore, the violence in here is like way over the top gore. But then a little bit later on, it's like I guess that maybe Garth in this is like, okay, let's tone it down a little bit because they went way over the top beginning, and the violence was tremendously toned down, and I think issue 6 was actually the last really gory issue, because issue 7 through 12, yeah, this is a combination of about 3 different trades. Now, the story with the first one is that, well, Microchip works for the CIA. Yep. Yeah, he works for the CIA, and this is one particular guy he does not get along with. But he gets an argument with him, and he does something really weird in order to get a point across. He grabs. Yeah, that's nothing. Anyways, yeah, he grabs the guy's groin, and he's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm grabbing your balls." Yeah, he does it just to prove a point. Yeah, though later on, this is hinting the fact that the guy would later, let's just say something really bad would happen to his groin. I'm not going to say what, but something really does happen. From what I can tell from this particular arc, it looks like they use this arc loosely for the Punisher Netflix series for season 1. The second arc looks like they used that. From what I remember reading, watching Daredevil season 2, they loosely use inspiration for this for the first 4 episodes of Daredevil season 2, and of course According to the commentary for Punisher Warzone, yeah, there's actually Easter eggs for that particular arc in the film. As a matter of fact, the bar O'Malley's that actually appears in the actual film itself. I gotta say, writing wise, it's actually pretty good. But if you're basically used to Garth Ennis' writing style, where where he has the characters swear a lot, the Punisher himself very rarely swears. And he does stuff. The way he writes the Punisher makes him a pretty interesting character, despite the fact he's killing a lot of criminals. And yes, if you're wondering what cover this is taken from, this is from issue 9. Yep. He does stuff like this. He kills a lot of people. But one really gross character is a guy called Finn Cooley, who apparently survived a bomb. Apparently part of his face got blown off, which I'm like, that's kind of gross. He first seen with like a mask on, like I've seen this mask before. I've seen one wrestler, and then he basically keeps his face together by tape. I'm like, I'm not sure about this. Did in fact Scott Snyder get inspiration for this for the Joker? He must have, because it's a very similar thing. The other case of what happened with the Joker was a lot more gross than what this guy went through. Oh yes. I gotta say the writing is actually really good. The artwork in here is actually pretty top notch. Let me show you some artwork in here from the first arc of the series. Yep, I'm not gonna show up the over top gore, but I am gonna show off. Now, weird thing about this series though, you never get a good shot of the Punisher in these first 12 issues. You see him, yes, but you don't get a good shot of him. Yeah, and this is, let's see, what's a good artwork? Let's see. I want to get a good depiction of the artwork by the artist issue 1. Let's see. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, this is the artist Derek Louis LaRosa. Yeah. Also, those of you think that, oh yeah, does this cover look very familiar to you? Those of you who've seen the film American Sniper, yeah, one of the characters was actually reading this very issue during the events of the film. Because apparently I heard something, he's a big Punisher fan. For Kitchen Irish, by the way, the Kitchen Irish do show up in Daredevil Season 2. Yep, they are the first villains that Daredevil fights, so he doesn't kill them all. Punisher does, with an elephant gun. Yep. Yeah, here's the artist for this particular arc. This is Loranda Fernandez. Yeah, the way this arc, the way the first issue begins, it's the same thing how the arc ends with him walking by himself. Yep. Of course, at the end of issue 6, he kills Microchip. How? By blowing his head off. Yeah, that's how he kills Microchip. In the regular universe, I think in the mainstream universe, I think Microchip commits suicide, though he looks a lot different. I mean, this guy's got a full beard. He's still like a chubby guy like he is in the regular universe, but in the regular universe, he did have facial hair, but he didn't have a full, like, connecting beard type of thing. That's something original for this universe. Yeah, the thing about the Max version of the characters are a lot more violent, and they swear a lot more. They actually do swear a lot. Now, I know Bendis is one of a few, Garth Ennis is one of a few writers I could think of who loves but swearing in comic books. If you've ever read the series Preacher, you're probably used to basically Garth Ennis' writing style, because he writes Punisher, the way he writes the series, it's a similar way to how he wrote Preacher, basically having almost every single character swear, except for the main character. The main character very rarely swears. Like, you can go like a good 4 or 5 pages in an issue without hearing a character drop like an F-bomb or some other swear word. Yeah, I mean, despite the swearing, the stories in here are actually quite interesting. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Would give this 9.5 because I do find it somewhat interesting read, but it's a Max comic, and I only recommend this book only for adults. Adult comic, adult readers only. Do not give this to little kids. They'll give them nightmares. Yeah, you can maybe give them like one of the older comics Punisher. Not this one. No. Do not give this to kids. This is not for kids. This is for adults only. It's a rated R comic book, so I recommend it for adults only. Okay? And for all long-time Punisher fans. They might enjoy this. Alright, yep. Time to look on for another writer, Bob McManus. He's known for swearing too, but at least he actually censors the words in regular comics. And when he did Alias, he had Jessica Jones swear a lot. And I do mean a lot. But this is nothing very much. She's in the book, but she doesn't do very much. Okay, this is New Avengers, Volume 11, The Search for the Sorcerer Supreme, collecting issues 51 to 54. Yep, this is simply a four-parter dealing with searching for a new Sorcerer Supreme, who turns out to be Jericho Drum, aka Brother Voodoo, who becomes Dr. Voodoo. He's Sorcerer Supreme for like a year before he gets killed off. Yep. And the whole big character, the main villain of this arc is in fact the Hood. Yep. Despite the fact, yes, he did also appear in the second, in the arc that came just before the Secret Invasion tie-ins. But yeah, Bendis brings him back right after Secret Invasion, like right after the Dark Reign time, he brings him back. And it's quite interesting what he does with him. Basically, the ending for him sets up what goes on in the next arc, Powerless, where he goes with Loki, the Cubic, at the Nornstones. The artwork in here is done by Billy Tan and Chris Bachalo. Yep. Also in issue 51, Spider-Man Unmasked to the New Avengers. Which, by the way, prior to this, the only people who knew who Spider-Man was prior to this very issue were just two people. And that was Mary Jane Watson and Doctor Strange. They were the only two people who knew. But with this particular issue, these following people know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And they are the following. Bring around the page here. Yep. They are Jessica Jones, Jessica Drew, Mockingbird, Bucky Barnes, Wolverine, who kind of already knew anyways, Carol Danvers, Luke Cage, and Clint Barton. Yeah, all these people now know that these people in this room, yeah, they all know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Yep, I know for a fact Steve Rogers also knows, and I also know that Carly Cooper knows. Yeah, she found out just prior to this. Actually, she found out after this. Carly Cooper knows, Anna Marie knows, and so does Dr. Octopus. And I think Mysterio knows too, but who knows if Mysterio bothers to remember the fact that, hey, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Yep. And also we have appearance by the character Wiccan. Yeah, he shows up in here, along with Damian Hellstrom. Yeah, when they were searching for who New Sorcerer Supreme is. Yeah, he says, yeah, he's telling some girls, telling me to go to hell? I'm from hell. I'm the son of Satan, baby. Yeah, that's literally what Damian Hellstrom says to a woman on the phone. Yep. Oh, boy. It's only Bendis who would write that, because any other writer probably make Damian Hellstrom a little more serious than that. Yeah, whenever you read this dialogue, the way Bendis writes, hey, Damian Hellstrom, he makes me the most hilarious magical character. There's also a reference, as Chelsea mentioned, there's reference to Jennifer Kale, and there's potential candidates for other people, and yet Jericho Drum is the one who's chosen to be the new Sorcerer Supreme, who takes the name of Dr. Voodoo. Also, first time we see him, he's in bed with a woman. Who is this woman? From what I could tell, it's Monica Rambeau, because these two have had on-off relationship for years. But here's kind of the weird thing. This is like one of the two last times I can think of these two ever actually been together. Because apparently, I don't know, maybe some writers forget the fact these two are a couple. Yeah, because Monica Rambeau has not been depicted in a relationship in quite some time. As a matter of fact, many more writers forget she even exists, because we only have one person as Captain Marvel. It's Carol Danvers. So forget about her predecessors. Though they do occasionally mention the original Captain Marvel, Marvel. Yep. I gotta admit, this was actually a really interesting little story. And, of course, the whole point of Clint basically calling out Norman Osborn on this is, yeah, because he knows the fact he's a criminal, and the fact that Dark Avengers are in fact all criminals. This is, of course, right after the whole Dark Reign stuff. This is still a loose tie in Dark Reign, along with Powerless, but basically this arc sets up next one, which is nice. The fact Bendis does that, and then the thing ends with, okay, if the media's not going to investigate him, then he's like, I'm gonna go kill him. Basically setting up Dark Reign to list. Yep, that's basically what the issue entails. Though he doesn't do that in the next issue. Nope, he just does stuff with Powerless. Yeah, that's the weird thing. He basically, in the next issue, he just fights the Hellfire Club. Yep, because they have Dark Raid in the list, and the New Avengers Annual will take place between these issues. Yep. But this is really good. I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. If you're a fan of Doctor Strange, this storyline is essential for Doctor Strange himself because, well, he starts new Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, he gave it up. And, of course, they chose, of course, Jericho Drum, who, now, he only stays a part of this for like a year to get killed off. Doctor Strange just gets restored to being the Sorcerer Supreme at the end of New Avengers. Pretty much at the end of Bendis' run. That's when he restored Doctor Strange to being the Sorcerer Supreme. So this only lasts for a good, like, 3 years, 4 years, and then he's back being Sorcerer Supreme. Okay, so yeah, that's really it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is going to be on another Marvel book, and a book that has originally published through Marvel, but published through also published by IDW. You'll find what it is next episode. Okay, but to see you there. Bye.